Even though I would consider myself a newbie miner, I've been through some days where you make £30 a day and days where you only make £5 a day. Despite that, I decided to pursue my dream and decided to invest even more into the rig. So I just picked up another card, another 2060, which we're going to add to the rig today. This rig also has bbeen running for about 20 days without stopping, so it definitely needs some cleaning. If you don't know, I do have a couple cats, and the cat hair, even though the rig is lifted quite high up, still gets between the cards. So we're going to do some modifications today, and I'm going to introduce you to my brand new rig. Let's do it. So before I shut it off, let me just show you where we are at the minute before we do any changes to it. We've got 4 cards in this setup. We've got 3070 over there. We've got 2 2060 and a 1660 working there. From this setup, we're getting around 149 mega hashes. And we've got some decent temperatures ranging from 43 to 63 on the hottest card. I'm quite happy with that result. The fans are not spinning at maximum and the temperatures look good. And something that I've learned from guys on Reddit that are more experienced than me is that you should switch off your miner first and let the cards run on fairly high fans for a few minutes just to cool them off properly before you switch off the computer, because when you switch it off, naturally the fans will stop and the temperature accumulation within the cards might have negative effect on the cards or the memory of the cards. So yeah, let them run for a couple minutes and then switch it off. Okay, I have to say, it's a pretty strange feeling to see it not running and not creating noise, most importantly. So I've just had a quick look and look at the state of these cards. They were cleaned 20 days ago when I launched this rig. That's when I cleaned it last time. But look at this. Even though they are lifted quite high up, the cat hair just gets everywhere, guys. Cat hair and dust. They look terrible. So hopefully with a slightly different design that I'm going to implement today, they're going to perform a little bit better. Or maybe it's a sign that I have to clean them more often and just buy some compressed air. So anyway, cleaning the cards will be first order of business today. So I'm going to move everything off the shelving, put it on the table, because I think that's going to make it a little bit easier for me to work. So I've got my hoover and yeah, let's get to it. Okay, I think this is going to be super satisfying to see all of that dust come off with the hoover. Let's see. Okay, so my cards are looking pretty clean now. You can tell definitely much better than they were before hoovering. But I'll probably still buy some compressed air, blow some air inside whenever I get it. I think even without the air, that's much better. On the 3070, the cat hair on here was so bad that I had to pull it with my fingers because the hoover wouldn't take it. So yeah, cat hair and graphics cards definitely don't go well together. Next thing I need to do, because this rig isn't wide enough to add another card just at the end, because of the fans that I have here. I've got pretty wide fans, 1, 2 and 3 and number 4 here. I'm going to move them onto the front here, so I'm going to mount them directly here, one next to each other, not between the cars like they are now, because the cars are going to have to be a little bit narrower. This was a better setup for the time being because it gave me more air circulation and separation between the cards, but now that I've got another one to add, I'm gonna have to make them a little bit closer to each other. So this is it. All the fans are moved to the front now, and as you can see, I've mounted them the other way around, so they are pulling the air from the cards to the living room, and that way we're going to avoid hot air mixing between the cards and some fresh air going into the cards. So now I'm going to rearrange the cards a little bit. Now, one thing I want to mention is that this 2060 reaches higher temperatures than any of the other cards. So what I'm planning to do, I'm going to move this one on the very beginning of the frame, so it's getting the coolest air. I can imagine this one being here directly above the processor on the motherboard there, and between the other cards. It's slightly disadvantaged, but despite that, even so, I think this has inferior cooling to the other ones. So we're going to move that here and add the fifth card that I'm going to show you in a second. Oh, excuse me, mister. Hello? Sorry. Okay, so I've moved things around and made space for the fifth card, which is going to go directly there. This is the 2060 dimensioned. That's reaching higher temperatures than all the other cards. And now let me show you the newest addition to our family. We've got MSI 2060 Gaming Z. This isn't the original packaging, if you can tell. That's because I bought it as B grade from Overclockers UK. I have no problems buying B grade stuff. This one looks like it was brand new, just probably with a damaged box or returned by a customer. But that also means that I buy it for much better price, which means quicker return on my investment. And here she is. I have to say, this is probably the nicest card out of all of the ones that I have. Even the 3070, despite its superior specs, doesn't look as cool as this one. The fans, the stickers on the fans, really cool logo here. Oh, and actually, that reminds me. There we go. And also, what I didn't mention yet, the metal plate on the back. This is metal, not plastic, unlike some other cards, and it just looks superior to everything I've had so far. I can't wait to put it in. Before this arrived, I looked it up online, and this is 38% heavier than average model of 2060, and I can definitely feel it. And for the connection with the motherboard, I'm again using the same PCIe riser. If you don't have one just yet, and you're needing one, if you follow my link in the description, you're going to support the channel, so that would be much appreciated. Oh guys, I'm just so excited about this card. It looks so good. Like, look at the size of this thing. This is so chunky. 3070, okay, fair enough, it has 3 fans, but this bad boy for 2 fans, oh, just beautiful. If I was building a gaming PC, I would definitely be using one of these from MSI. Beautiful. Now, what's not beautiful is those cables. I'm going to take care of some cable management right now, and one really useful cable I found, if you're thinking of building a mining rig, is, let me just quickly grab it and show you. And this is the cable that I'm talking about. This cable on one side has 6 pin to 2 times 6+2. It allows me to power 2 risers from this cable. This side is going to go into peripheral port in the power supply, which can support up to 150 watts, which is exactly the maximum power draw on 2 PCIe risers. And we have a train in the background, so quick break. Link to the cable in the description. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it here. It's not pretty, but cable management was never my strong side. And again, it's not pretty, but I think it's going to work. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move it onto the racking, and we're going to plug everything in and start the system. Okay, let's see if we get any output. The fans are spinning on all of the cards. The extra fans are spinning. Things are looking good. Oh, and we have output on the monitor. Don't mind the train in the background. Wow, this is still loading. Let me just show you this brand new card. Look how cool this is. So I think the fans have stopped working on it right now because this card doesn't require fans when it's like at lower temperatures, because it has like a clever cooling system. So just take a look at this. All of the LEDs are programmable as well, so if you have a different color build, you can match the build. Pretty cool. Definitely the best looking card out of them all. Okay, so we're in Windows now, and MSI Afterburner is recognizing all of the 4 cards, as you can see. So we've got 3070, we've got 3 2060s, and a 1660, which we have to scroll down to see. Never had that before. Pretty cool feeling. So we're up to 5 cards now. Let's see if I'm going to have to reset all of my overclocks. And oh, actually no. So it's remembered all of my settings from the previous build, which is quite cool. So I'm just going to have to work on the brand new card. Everything else stays as it was. Okay, so I just tweaked my overclocks on the new card, and one of them actually did reset because I changed the port that I plugged it into on the motherboard. So I think that's why Afterburner didn't pick it up. So now all we have to do is to start the miner. I'm using T-Rex miner, so let's launch it and let's see what kind of results are we going to get. This is how I like to set up my desktop. Just so I can see all of the temperatures right here, and then I've got my miner in here. So give it a second to start, and let's see how we do. Okay, so as you saw, I just started the miner. However, if you paid close attention, you noticed there was an error that came up, and that said there wasn't enough memory for the mining software. And I'm just really quickly going to show you how to fix that. When I increased the number of the cards on the system, I didn't increase the virtual memory that system creates on the hard drive. Well, SSD in my case. So I'm just really quickly going to show you how to increase that. So if you run into a problem like this, you can fix it yourself. So what you're gonna want to do is go to System. So right click on the Windows button on the left bottom, then scroll to the bottom, click on the Advanced Settings, then go to Advanced Settings, and then Advanced again. If you click here to change, I just increased the initial size to 20 gigabytes, so 20,000 megabytes, and maximum to 30,000. And that fixed the problem. So if you run into a problem like this, error like this on the miner, that's how you fix it. Okay, so I've had this running for about 15 minutes now. The temperatures are holding steady, so we've got a range from 42 to 64. I'm quite happy with that. Nothing too excessive, nothing too low, but as expected, the brand new card MSI is doing fantastic job. I mean, look at that, guys. Fans are at what, 80%, and we are getting 46 degrees. This is brilliant. So I'm going to tinker with that a little bit more because we're currently getting 179.5 mega hashes. I definitely want to get this one over 180, just to get it to a nice round number, but that's going to take some time and playing around with the Afterburner. But that's a whole another video, which I'm probably going to do maybe next week, and I'm going to show you how I overclock things. This is where I'm going to leave it today, guys. I'm super happy with how this turned out, and I'm super happy to have 5 cards running for me right now. Ethereum is doing quite well. It's recovering after its recent crash. We dropped probably about 50% of the price, but as miners, we're in it for the long game, guys. We're not going to stress about some crashes last week or anything like this. We're just going to build more, and over time, build up this nice passive income. As always, thank you for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, guys, please leave them down below. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions if you have any, or if you have any suggestions on how to improve my rig, or maybe how to do better with the cable management. This is not my forte. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye. Just one last time, look at this beauty.